you should not get discouraged by past failures. What I thought was an easy subject that could be overcome, like in a week or 2 weeks, I realized that it was much more trickier than it is, actually projected to be. It's important that you revise all of them thoroughly every day. So the mock portal really built a lot of stamina for me.
A big cheers and congratulations on the 96th percentile GMAT 685. We're looking at the score report that you just shared, and you got this in the beginning of this month, right? Quant 91 percentile, verbal 94 percentile, and data insights 89 percentile. So when you're looking at the score, or let's say back in August 31st, September 1st, how did you find the score? Were you content, or did you feel like you could do better? What was your reaction?
Yeah, so initially I thought that, I could have done a lot better. But then I realized that, I knew about my weak areas already. I knew that data insights was going to be a challenge. But, I had less time left because I wanted to apply for the R1.
Right.
And so I thought I had to go with it now because I've already, spent a lot of time in this. And, if I have to do it R1, then at least I have to give one attempt at least now. So
Right.
that was the mindset at that time. Yeah.
Right. So let's just go back all the way back, right? So, um, what was the spark that ignited your entire, GMAT preparation? Where did it all start from? What was the defining moment that would say that, chalo, ab to GMAT, MBA karna hai, GMAT karna hai? What solidified that moment?
Okay. So let me start right from my college days. So when I graduated, I got into an internship and then I converted that into a full-time job. And while I was working, I had realized that, I want to do, management after this so that I want to move to bigger roles and have bigger ambitions for the future. So I decided that I'll do something in management. And at that time, I did not think about an MBA, but masters in management was what I was planning at that time because I had only around 1 year of work experience. So I thought maybe just start with MIM and then after some more experience I can go for a global MBA. So at that time I was prepping for MIM and all. I made my applications. Also I got into University of Liverpool also in 22 for the MIM program. But given at that time there were a lot of things going around, even in the UK, the economic crisis and everything was on, and a lot of people were losing their jobs. So I thought I'll restart my prep and I'll get into the top tier colleges only because that is what eventually is going to get valued in the future, right? So that was my mindset at that time. And after that, I started with the GMAT and CAT prep both at that time. So
Okay.
GMAT particularly, I wanted to do, for ISB's PGP program as well as for the global MBA programs in US and in Europe. I was only looking for LBS and NCAT. So that's what I thought at that time. So I did a lot of preparation. I started my preparation in the August of last year, I think, and at that time I quit my job also, to go full throttle into the GMAT journey and get that score that I need. But I really took that that very lightly because I thought, GMAT में because everyone's perception of the GMAT at that time was कि quant तो बहुत easy होता है, especially for Indians. Indians can do quant very easily. English is a little bit challenging, but that can also be done. So I didn't think about any coaching and all. I only went for the free videos and everything, like the sorts of GMAT Ninja and Manhattan Prep that they provide, right? And actually on the test day, I was totally devastated. I got a 630 in November of last year. But then I thought ki maybe, at the test was a little early at that time. So I booked an appointment for around 8 a.m. in the morning. So I thought that maybe that's the reason I could not, do stuff. But So after 1 month, I gave the GMAT again on the December 27th or 26th, I think that was. And I could only improve 20 points. I got 650 at that time. So by that time, I was already, checking out a lot of GMAT coaching and everything, and I had come across top 1 percentile. I'd seen a lot of students that were, getting their dream scores at that time. So I thought, I should give the coaching a try, right?
Right.
So that's when I got connected with Natasha, or not Natasha, Sonal,
Sonal.
sorry. I got connected with Sonal, and you know, uh, I think the day after my 650 score, I got enrolled into the program. And at that time, also I thought, I wanted to go for ISB, so I wanted to apply in round three, right? So at that time, also I did not have much time left because the focus edition was going to be started from first Feb, right? So I only
Right.
had 1 month, so around 20 or 21 days I had left for the R3 ISB. And there I only focused on the verbal part because I was, very weak in the verbal section, especially the RC and CR. So I only did the verbal part from the, tops syllabus. And there I got 710 in on 21st or 20th January. Okay, but I could not obviously make it to ISB at that time because I was also applying. I was applying in round three, so there was already, very less chance at that time. So I thought, okay, now I'll
Yes.
start restart this and go for R1 this year. So that's when I started again with the GMAT focus prep in March, and here we are. So.
Right. So if we have to just unfold your GMAT preparation, the preparation into maybe put that in a GMAT canvas kind. So would you be able to take through some of the key stages right from the initial planning of what to be unlearned in the previous attempts that you have had
Hmm.
to your final preparation just before the test day? Could you explain? Could you take us through that journey?
Yeah, sure. So when I started in March, now I was also starting with a new job at that time because I already had a gap of 6 or 7 months. So, I could not, have more gap in my resume. So I was starting with my new job also, and at that time I was starting my GMAT prep simultaneously, GMAT focus prep. So, so I knew that I had built some basics in verbal, and so I started with it, so that I could revise it thoroughly. And in verbal, I wanted that I should not make more than two or three mistakes. So that was my goal from the starting. So I started with the verbal, the RC part, which was really tricky at the beginning, started getting better and better as I practiced more and more passages. I don't even know how many passages till now I've read. I've read around 200, 300 passages I've solved already. I've done the RC 700, 800, then I did the LSAT also. No, LSAT I could not complete, but yeah. So, so with verbal, I was very much clear with verbal. And then I moved to quant. So quant is where everything started unfolding actually. So what I thought was an easy subject that could be overcome, like in a week or 2 weeks, I realized that it was much more trickier than it is, actually projected to be. So so I knew all the concepts and everything, but what happened was as soon as there is a time barrier and everything now, you lose out on questions because you're not able to solve that with your logic. You have to use some tricks. You have to really know what the question is asking. You have to be that fast reader and fast thinker in quant. So
Correct.
so there I thought, quant needed more time. So I, started with the basics preparations. I wanted to get to know about the basics, whatever part. which I thought I already knew, but there were a lot of new things coming up every day. So I'm a mathematics graduate, by the way. So, so, so it was really surprising for me that, even though I know everything, I know all these questions, but I'm not able to, solve all of them in that time limit. What is it that I'm lacking? So even if you practice all of that together now with, if you don't have the concepts in mind, then you lose out on that. So I started with the basics. I tried solving the questions the way they were told. I tried applying those tricks. So for example, in the sets question, right, you have to make a table and it makes everything very easy, right? So my idea was like sets so is a very easy concept. So I used to draw circles and everything, and I could eventually solve the questions, but with that table method, that 2 minute turned into 10 to 15 seconds. So that really saved a lot of time. And this not just this sets question, but for all types of questions in quant, there is always an easier way. There is always a different out of the box way. So that is where the score in quant lies. Actually, it does not lie in the preparation or the knowledge that you have. So yeah,
Right.
and yeah, and coming to the data insights part, I think data insights I started very late in the prep. So because I was, already focusing on Virtual and quant. So data insights I started late, and maybe that's why I lost out some questions there. But yeah, so
Right. So just one more last question on the preparation point,
yes.
right? What were your study arsenals, like what study materials or the resources from top you found most effective? And how did you structure your, preparation around these materials to ensure that you have maximum retention and maximum productivity also?
Yeah, yeah. So, since I was part of the self-paced program now, so I already had that customized Excel plan. So I was completely following that. So in the initial days, I was a little bit laid back because I was, starting a new job also. So there were a lot of things going around. So at that time, I did the basics very slowly, and then when I moved to the advanced part, I got into the details. I did each and every pre-work and post-work that was required in the customized plan. I did all of them very thoroughly, and the most important part I think was the post work, and the second the mock portal that we have. So the mock portals in the last month of my preparation, I only did practice from the mock portal. So the mock portal really built a lot of stamina for me because I was practicing a lot. Whatever I was, weak at, whatever topics I was revising, I would just go to the mock portal and practice from there in a timed manner. So that really helped me a lot. And for the RC and CR part, I think the awareness videos and the KTW videos were also very helpful. They, really helped me understand those passages. And even if I could not understand, I knew that, this is what I have to do. So I think I only made one mistake in RC. And that was a primary purpose question. I'm still not sure how I got that wrong, but yeah.
Right. So this question that I have for you next is more to do with your personal motivation. Like you mentioned about the work. The initial days also was a bit challenging, and you initially started, so you really have to, prove
Hmm.
wherever you start, right? You always have to prove your um, worth to be working there as well. So how
Yeah.
did you juggle between GMAT with the GMAT preparation with work commitments, and what kind of time that you would dedicate every single day, and how do you keep yourself accountable every single day?
Yeah, so I think in the initial days, though, I only studied in the weekend. Like in the weekend, I would, go full throttle and study 8 to 10 hours. I got space in a library nearby actually, so that there are no distractions and everything. and there I used to study on the weekends. And on only towards the end of my preparation is when I started, allotting some time on weekdays as well. Coming from office, and then in the night I would used to revise some of the concepts, or do a mock test or everything, because because towards the end what happens is that on the test day you have to tackle all of this together. So
Correct.
what happens is ki you sometimes forget about a lot of things, a lot of stuff that you have learned. So it's important that you revise all of them thoroughly every day. So towards the end month of the preparation is only when I gave time every day for something. I used to solve data sufficiency questions every day. I would take, RC to was there every day. So RC, CR, and quant may, if I'm not able to go through the whole, whole syllabus, I would just take one or two topics, and for that I would practice. But that was towards the end of my preparation. In the initial days, I could not, spare any time for the in the weekdays, because of my new job. I had to travel also for the job, right? So there was there was no window left. But in the end, I realized that I have to do this, now or never, kind of a situation I was in. So that's why. So I realized that if I had maybe used that time also, the weekdays time in the initial month also, I would have given my GMAT in June or July only, right? So.
Okay. So right after your preparation and so during in your final days, of course, I hope you've taken some marks, right? So what were your initial mock score? And did you see any kind of a graph where it felt like, okay, it's very promising now. I'm confident to go give GMAT, where you got like a really good score in the mocks.
So, when I gave my first mock, I think my score was around 635 or 645.
Mm.
Okay, and then I took a week off from the office,
Mm.
and I did. I brushed up all my concepts. I did a lot of practice, and after that, when I gave my mock, I was getting 675. I also got 695 in one mock, and then after that week off, when I went back into the job, right, and I only could give weekends. So that time my score really dropped. I got a 615 or 625 even towards the end of my prep, like the last mock that I gave also, at that time also my score was around 615, 625. But when I gave the mock on the official portal, I got 675, 685 there. So I was maybe I was unsure that maybe this mock is too hard or what, but actually, yeah, the mock was really hard, especially the quant part. So my quant paper was over, with 20 minutes remaining at that time.
The
So
main
uh,
exam.
yeah, in the main exam. So I was very shocked. Ki, matlab, how is this so easy? Like the questions were so easy. Either I have messed up very bad or something. But I still had enough time to review each of the questions. So I thought maybe I went back to those questions, and I'm still not sure how I got those two. I got two wrong in quant, so I'm not sure how that happened. And that too was from a topic that was very much familiar with me. That was from factors and everything, value order and factors. Yeah.
Right. So, overall, how would you talk about or probably share your exam experience in terms of from the environment into or the questions that you've seen, or the time? How would you just can you brief a little bit about your exam experience? Anything unusual that you would like to highlight?
So I was visiting this new center for the first time. So I think the exam went pretty smooth, and I had scheduled my exam at the same time that I was giving mocks. So the exam experience was not not like something very strange. It was very familiar for me. Even the dashboard and everything, the same dashboard is there on the top portal as well, right? So I was very much familiar with the dashboard and everything, the breaks. So I had planned it accordingly. So there was nothing like unfamiliar in my exam. Uh, I think the quant part, so I already told you it was too looking too easy. The verbal part also was, not that difficult. Towards the end, I was little bit short on time, so maybe that's why I made two mistakes there. But overall it was great. Yeah.
Superb. Did you immediately apply to some schools?
Yes, so I have done my application for ISB with Autry sir, and we are planning for MIT Sloan as well, and maybe in the round two also we'll apply to some more schools. Yeah.
Schools. Right. Right. So, if you have to summarize this, and this is very interesting, I could say that the GMAT survival kit, if you would want to put the do's and the don'ts for any student who's maybe starting out or, out there about to give the GMAT exam, what would you include in that do's and don't list? Right from the very beginning, like because you come a long way from your preparation, right? If you now wanted to just shorten into these 3 to 4 months of your preparation, what would you just advise in this segment?
Yeah, so I think on the don'ts part, I would say don't give too many GMAT exams. I've given what's like four now, so don't give too many GMAT attempts. The score is not going to go up magically unless you're not getting those scores on the mock. Unless you're not confident about that, it's not going to happen. So that is definitely one. And second, I would say that don't just study on the weekends or just say ki, I'll get this through by just studying once a week, twice a week. I think every day is really important, and something you have to do something every day, so that those concepts, those tricks and tips, everything are there fresh in your mind. So that is there. And third, I think that I think that you should not get discouraged by past failures and everything, because when I was giving my third attempt, after that, I initially thought that what better could happen after this attempt, right? I got a 710 at that time, so that is 90th percentile. I thought that maybe this is the best I can do, but yeah, I gave some time, and at least I'm 5-6 percentiles ahead. So yeah.
Right. Superb. Superb. Thank you so much again for sharing these insights, Abhinav. I can't do without congratulating you on behalf of Sandeep sir, on behalf of the entire Top 1% team. I also have to thank you in trusting the entire process. Doing is what sir exactly said, that in through the study plan to finishing the videos and finishing practicing questions. The score actually helps validate what sir's teaching is. So here's wishing you the biggest of the admit that you're applying to, and really hoping that this comes out very soon. Autry will definitely, whip that magic around the application. This another level of confidence that you will get after your application is all done. So here's wishing you all the very best, and congratulating for what is already done.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot to you guys and Sandeep sir as well. So the content is amazing and really helped me a lot. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much.